We're back. We seem to have some technical difficulty there for a minute, and we got knocked off. Hopefully, we're back on now, and the broadcast has begun. Let's hope that we're back on the air here. I'm not sure what happened there, but we seem to have been interrupted at some point, and we're gonna pick up where we left off. I guess we were off the air for about 5 minutes, so we are back on the air, and hopefully we stay on the air now. I don't know what happened. We might have had an internet. We might have had an internet issue. We do, so that happens once in a while. We do have Spectrum, and they're terrible. So that might have been what happened. I don't know exactly, but I would be willing to bet that's what happened. But we're back on now, and what we're going to talk about, we were talking about, and I think it got completely interrupted, was I talked about the Indian spring training schedule for a minute, and you know, it's about a month away, thankfully, and so you know, in about 36 days, games will begin. February 12th, players report, pitchers and catchers, and then I believe it's February 16th. Yes, February 16th, position players report, and then February 18th is a full first squad workout, and then I believe it is February 22nd is their first spring training game, 22nd or 23rd. So that's great that baseball is just around the corner. What we're going to talk about now is that the OHSAA sent out a letter yesterday about parents laying off the officials. And this really is a problem. It really is. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've never yelled at an official. I have when I'm coaching. But rarely when I'm just watching a game as a parent do I say anything to officials. I really don't. To umpires. My son plays baseball, so umpires. I rarely do if I'm just watching the game. If I'm coaching, I might say something. Coaches do. Coaches they should. They're allowed. They still have to be somewhat respectful. But you also have to stick up for your kids. But the OHSAA sent out this letter, and there's no doubt that people should lay off the officials. You know, they're not paid a lot of money. They might get $50 for a game. Okay? That's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money to hear fans and parents abusing you for 2 hours or more. You know, no wonder there's a shortage. I'm not surprised there's a shortage of officials. I'm not surprised one bit. Not surprised at all. I would be surprised if there wasn't a shortage of officials. The things I hear. I mean, I covered a game last night. I covered a basketball game last night, Wickliffe and Richmond Heights. You know, and I always sit on the visitor side when I cover a game at Wickliffe. Let me tell you, some of the things I heard last night out of the fans behind me were unbelievable. You know, saying that the officials were racist toward their players. Don't let race interfere with your call. That's what they kept saying to the official. The guy that was sitting behind me. Him and his wife or girlfriend, or I'm not sure who she was, but they continually belittled the officials the entire game. But of course, they were far enough back where they weren't heard all the time. You know, I'm sure they heard him sometime. And I do know one time the official looked at him and the guy says, "Yeah, I'm talking to you." Who does the official need that during a game from a parent? He's got enough problems hearing it from the coaches. Yet he's going to hear it from a parent who's apparently has one motive the whole night to say that the officials' calls are all about race. He brought race into it. Nobody else did. I didn't hear one other person there last night say anything about race except these two people. They kept saying it over and over again, yelling at the officials, saying, don't let racism get in your way of making the right call. And I can't deny that I've heard it out of this high school's parents before, because I have. Okay, I have. I've heard them say things like this in the past. Well, hey, you know, you're the ones bringing racism into this. I don't think those officials, there were two white officials and an African-American official. And the official they were yelling at most of the time was the African-American official. It really made no sense. But, of course, they wanted to say, you know, that it was about race, yelling at the officials. Kids are there. And I know there's some people that are going to listen to this, and they're going to say, well, you've gotten in arguments with officials before and umpires. And yeah, I have. When I was coaching, okay? When I was coaching, it's different that you have a discussion or a disagreement with an official when you're coaching rather than when you're in the stands as a parent. That's different. Not only are you setting a bad example, but you're embarrassing your kid. You're making your kid, you're embarrassing your kid. So I think this letter from the OHSAA was great. And I wish I could have passed it out last night at the game. I think that's what they should do. I think they should pass it out at games. I think they should. You know, a lot of people won't read it, but some might. But also, it'll at least let people know we're listening to you and we hear what you say. So don't think that we're just going to accept your rotten and lousy behavior. But and let me tell you something. I used the game last night as an example, the Richmond Heights Wycliffe game. But let me tell you something. Richmond Heights is no worse than some other schools. Painesville, Riverside, horrible behavior from parents at games. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Beechwood is another one. It's not real good. Kirtland is another one where their parents are unbelievably horrible, yelling things at the kids. Not only officials, but at the kids on the other team. All right? So it's not only I'm not picking on Richmond Heights. They just seem to be, they were the opponent last night. But you know, Willoughby South, another one that's unbelievable. I'll say I've never heard men or parents being horrible at a game that I've covered and yelling at the officials, yelling at the kids on the other team. I've not heard it. I've not heard it from North parents either. I've covered all these schools. But the ones I mentioned, I have heard it from, and they're rotten. Okay, and someone needs to pass this letter out to those parents from those schools that I mentioned, because they are the biggest offenders. But I'm also not going to say that Wycliffe is innocent here. Okay, we've had some incidents at Wycliffe that are embarrassing. Embarrassing. Okay. I lost my position as baseball booster president because some people didn't like me, and I yelled at an official or an umpire and a coach in a fall ball game that wasn't even high school. And I lost my position because some people didn't like me. They need to hold everybody accountable. If you're going to, you got to enforce this, and you need to hold everybody accountable. So let's go on here and move on to the next topic. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go to news and politics next, and we will be back with that right after this. Welcome back to the second half of the Lake County Sentinel podcast for tonight. We're going to cut it a little short. We're going to go about 9 more minutes tonight. We had some technical difficulty. We got thrown off the air for a couple minutes. So we're going to go about 8.5 more minutes here. We've got a couple things to talk about. There's not a ton tonight. But I'll tell you what, the one thing that gets me today is I saw the GOP minority House leader, Kevin McCarthy, said that Pelosi and the Democrats are putting politics ahead of America. All right, I might agree with him on that. Yeah, I definitely might agree with him on that. But so is Trump. And so did the Republicans for the 8 years. So did Republicans for the 8 years that Barack Obama was president. They put politics ahead of America for 8 years. So I want to know why it was okay for them to do it for 8 years, but it's not okay for the Democrats to do it. Actually, for me, it's not okay for either to do it, but I don't think the Democrats are doing that right now. Trump is holding the government hostage over one issue, a wall, not border security. He is holding the country hostage and the government shutdown over one part of an issue, and that's a border wall, not border security. He doesn't want to negotiate for true border security that would actually secure the borders and make us safer. He wants his wall, and that's it. He's not going to budge. Like a little kid. I want my Legos, and if I don't get to play with my Legos, I'm going to cry like a baby. And that's Donald Trump. He wants his Legos to build his border wall. So don't tell me that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are putting politics ahead of America, because they're not. Donald Trump is, because he wants to keep a campaign promise. That's politics. Okay? That's all political right there. So don't be telling me that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are playing politics when it's absolutely, positively the truth that Donald Trump is playing politics. Donald Trump is playing politics. So if you're going to try to tell me that Nancy Pelosi is playing politics, then that's a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie. Politics is being played here by Donald Trump. The Republicans are great at playing political games. Great at it. They are amazing. So if he wants to say that, if McCarthy wants to say that, then go ahead. But you're a hypocritical liar, which we know the Republicans are. They are hypocritical liars. And Donald Trump is their leader, and they will not go against Donald Trump. So for Kevin McCarthy to say that Pelosi's playing politics is just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. The border wall is not needed. More border agents, better technology is what's needed. We're not in 100 BC where we're going to build a Great Wall of China. Okay? We've got some more technology now that might help. You know, you could still build a tunnel under a wall, and don't tell me that's going to stop if we build the wall, because it is not. All right? It is not. It's not going to stop. They'll build more tunnels. They'll go deeper. These people aren't as dumb as Trump and his supporters think they are. They think just because they have brown skin, they're dumb. They're not. They've proven it time and time again. They're not as dumb as he thinks they are. So I think we'll close today like we do. We'll close with the stock market. Stock market was up again today, which is good. It was up 141.57 points. It closed at 24,207.16. The stock market has gone up 4,295.16 points since Donald Trump took office. The stock market at this same point under Barack Obama went up 3,786.44 points. Percentage-wise, the stock market is up 17.75% under Donald Trump, and it was up 30% under Barack Obama. Those are the numbers. Those are the facts. Do with them what you want. But percentage-wise, the stock market did better under Obama than it did under Trump. We'll see how it does tomorrow. 8 years ago tomorrow, under Barack Obama, the stock market went, let's see how the stock market did. 8 years ago tomorrow, under Barack Obama, it was closed. Okay, it was closed. And then the next time it will be open on the same day is Friday. So tomorrow it was closed. So Trump will gain some more tomorrow if the stock market keeps going the way it has. He'll gain tomorrow. So, but that's it. The stock market went up again today, which is a good thing for everybody. And hopefully it continues to go up. We'll see. I have a lot of people that know finances, and they don't seem to think it will. They think the economy is going to start falling. But who knows? I think it could happen when the jobs report comes out at the end of the month. And a lot of people lost their jobs after the holidays. Of course, you know, Trump's people will say that of course, the jobs, it always happens in January, but it always happens in February too. Or it always happens in December where jobs go up. But they didn't say that. So, but that's it for tonight. And I guess we'll see everyone. Hopefully we'll hear from everyone tomorrow. We'll be back at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and hopefully we won't have any technical difficulty and we won't get interrupted. I hope everybody has a good night. Have a good night, everybody.